Hey guys, this is the first time I'm doing a phone review, so I'm pretty excited about it. It's not like a proper phone review, but I'm gonna tell you exactly how an iPhone made my life absolutely miserable. Completely miserable. Alright, so I have never used an iPhone in my life. Ever. Say what? Big deal, just grow up. I've never used one. So I was completely happy using my Pixel for the last 2.5 years, and I was gonna get the latest Pixel which is out there. But okay, I just thought, okay, maybe I'll try an iPhone because hey, like everybody uses an iPhone. So I got one. I got one in February. It's been exactly 2 months that I got my iPhone 11. And guess what? I disliked it from day one, plain and simple. I'm not lying here, not one bit. I did not know what the fuss was about, you know? I did not know what made it so special. So I was asking my friends because like everyone uses an iPhone. So I'd be like, "Hey dude, can you please tell me like what's so special about this phone because I can't figure that out by myself." And they would do this exactly. Like they would take their iPhone and they would imagine it's an iPhone, right? They would do this. Oh my god, dude, an iPhone. Like, man, where do I even start from? Like, an iPhone is an iPhone. Just look at this, look at the icons. How simple, like, how elegant, how seamless, how effortless. Just look at this, You know what? You know what I'll recommend? Like, just give it some time. Give it some time. It'll start to grow on you, Like, iPhone takes a while to get used to. So just give it some time. But once you start liking it, you'll love it before you know it. And once you love it, there's no turning back, unfortunately. Like, you'd always be using an iPhone for the rest of your life. And that was the biggest bullshit I've heard in a while. Because you know what grows on you? Hair. Hair grows on you. And feelings. A person might not like you back, but then you end up staying with that person 24/7. You stick around that person all the time. And that person might eventually start to grow feelings for you. But unfortunately, the same doesn't happen for an iPhone. You might have your phone on you 24/7, but no, it doesn't work the same way. You don't end up growing feelings for an iPhone. Because guess what? The more you start knowing an iPhone, the more you realize how fucked up that device is. So those of my friends would know that I post a lot of stories, like a lot, because story is life. Duh. I mean, why not? See, my point is when I can't share a story straight from photos or from gallery on an iPhone. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is a photo on my Pixel, and I share, and I get the option of sharing stories straight from here. So it takes this photo straight to Instagram, and then I can post a story, right? The same doesn't happen with an iPhone. So very often it happened that I used to edit photos on Google Photos, but then I would want to share it, and I can't share because it's an iPhone, right? So even when I go to Instagram, that photo doesn't appear on the recent photos. So what iPhone users mostly do is they take a screenshot of that and then they have to frame it so that it stays in the recent photos in Instagram, and then they have to share the story. It's a lot of hassle for someone who does a lot of stories all the time. So yeah, that was one of the problems that I faced for posting photos as stories on Instagram. So while we're on the subject of stories, let me just quickly show you this. I know what you're thinking. This song, right? Oh my god, like takes you all the way back to high school and brings back those memories. Not important. The point I'm trying to make is I do a lot of these stories, right? So I'm driving and there's music playing from my phone in the car and I want to do a story out of that. So I want to do a story with that very music playing in the background of the story the whole time. Now, as simple as that. Now, don't ask me why I'm driving and doing stories at the same time. That's a different conversation altogether. But the point I'm trying to make is you can't do that on an iPhone. So on an iPhone, there's music playing from your phone, and the moment you start recording a video, the music basically stops right away. It's such a bummer. I mean, iPhone advocates would be like, but hey, you know what? When you're recording something, that's more like a background noise coming out of your phone, which is why iPhone stops playing that. But hey, you dumb fuck, like, you can always lower the volume from your device if you don't want that to play. It can happen in your car, it can happen with any portable Bluetooth devices, right? You're playing music on a Bluetooth speaker. The same can happen. You might want to record something with the music playing in the background. You can't do that on an iPhone. So it was kind of a bummer for me because I do these stories very often and I couldn't do that at all, like after I got an iPhone. And the reason I do stories while I'm driving is because story is life, right? Alright, battery. Now, I'm not the kind of guy who always has his phone charged. So very often it happens that I'm speaking to someone on the phone and my phone dies and then I plug it in and then it turns back on straight away and then I call that person back, right? Simple. No, it's not as simple for an iPhone because guess what? When an iPhone dies, you basically have to give your phone a good 5 to 10 minutes when you charge it for it to turn back on, and then you can call that person, right? So by that time you are pissed, the other person is pissed, and it's such an annoying problem to have. I don't think any phone in the world has that problem. Like, it's only probably unique to an iPhone that it doesn't turn back on straight away. And it ticked me off so much the first time I faced it, and it's one of the reasons I really disliked an iPhone. Right, so I do a lot of video calls, right? I mean, I stay away from my family, from my friends, so I speak to them on video calls all the time. So I generally use WhatsApp or Messenger to call them, and I generally talk for a lot of hours, right? So while I'm on those calls, I also have to attend to other emails, other messages, other notifications coming in while I'm on those calls with them. So this is exactly what So I'm on a call on WhatsApp with my brother, right? We're on a video call. Now this is what I'm talking about. Fadlan, you want to say hi?
Hi, iPhone sucks.
Good one, Fardin. So yeah, you can basically minimize your call here and do anything and everything that you want to. So you can check your emails, you can go check your Instagram, you can check your Facebook, you can basically do whatever I want to, and the other person can totally see your face, right? So your screen's not blurring or freezing. That's the point I'm trying to make. It looks so simple, right? But it's not as simple on an iPhone, because on an iPhone, if you want a video call and if you want to minimize your call, your screen freezes right away. So as soon as you minimize your call and you get out of the app, like be it WhatsApp or be it Messenger, the other person can't see your face anymore. So you can't be on a call and attend to other stuff at the same time. Now this was a complete deal breaker for me, because like I said, I do a lot of video calls and I do video calls for hours. And I have to attend to other stuff at times. So it was a complete deal breaker, like I said. And I had to get rid of this phone. While we're on the topic of Messenger, let me tell you this. So imagine you're drafting an email or a message and you start getting a call on Messenger, like a voice call, right? So on an Android, what you can do is you can easily put that to mute. You can minimize that, you can swipe that to the right or the left, and you can basically keep doing whatever you were doing. But it's not the same on an iPhone, because on an iPhone, if you get a call on Messenger, you can't just swipe that aside, put that someplace else and do whatever you were doing on your phone. So you either have to pick up the call, but we're not picking up that call, right? Remember, we are not picking up that call. So you basically have to wait for your phone to stop ringing, and only then you can go back to whatever you were doing. So I kept thinking about it, but I still could not get my head around an iPhone. Like, what makes it so special? So is it the speed? Because I know for a fact that iPhone lags. iPhone users would be lying if they say their phones don't lag. Especially when your battery is about to die, your phone lags more than ever. And you know it. You know it 100%. Is it the camera? Because I can tell you for a fact that my phone Pixel 4 XL's camera is better than an iPhone's camera any day. Any day. You can check that out for yourself. Is it the security? Just look at that news from 6 days ago, which talks about the iPhone mail app's vulnerability to hacking. So your phone is not as safe as you think it is. So what is it really, Okay, so this is my take on it. This is what I feel. Just to hear me out. So I think you are in a very toxic relationship with your iPhone. Just like a toxic relationship in general, right? Like the other person, the toxic person, the iPhone is extremely controlling. Like controls every single aspect of your life. Dictates every single terms and conditions, and you basically have to follow exactly what they want you to do, right? But I know a lot of iPhone users after watching this video would be like, hey, but I don't care at all about any of these features, It's because you are lazy, and also it's because you're ignorant. You hate it. You hate it more than you know. Every morning you wake up and you feel like you're gonna end this once and for all. But you don't. Guess why? Because you are too used to that low life, to living that low life, and you've forgotten how beautiful the world out there is. You forget how simple things can be. You think everything out there is even more difficult than this is. It's actually not. It's a pretty simple world out there, So all you have to do is take that leap of faith and get out of that toxic, miserable, shitty relationship that you're in with your phone. And you'd be much better off. Your life would be so much better and simpler after that. And you thank me for that. But at the end of the day, if you're happy with that miserable, ignorant life of yours, by all means, do whatever you want to do. It's your life. Do whatever makes you happy. But I just hope this video gives you something to think about. Do you smell freedom?